Okay, I'm going to be doing a presentation on detox. If anyone wants to join, there's a couple extra packets up here. Anyone else need one? I think I got it wrong. Okay, so detox. Has anyone ever done a detox before? Yeah? Mainly about a short one or a month-long one or a couple months? Just about a week? A couple weeks of a month? Okay. Yeah, I think personally a 10-day detox is great to do a few times throughout the year. A 30-day detox, it's a big commitment. It's hard to do, but it is very possible. You just have to be committed, have the right tools, which we have a lot of great supplies for you to get a protocol and everything you would really need as far as supplements and what to eat. So that's a great start. And right now is a perfect time for detox. I started one this morning. I think wellness weeks are a good time for me personally to do because I'm talking about it. I can't hide it. But after the holidays, especially before Christmas, I like to clean my system out a little bit. But after, in between breaks of holidays and seasons of life, great time to start one. And if you start one on a Monday, you only have to suffer through one weekend. So if you start on a weekend, then you have to do two. But if you start on a Monday for a 10-day detox, you have to do one weekend. So the big question, what can I do? How can I detox? And how can I protect my family from harmful toxins? So here's just an article to how playgrounds can be really toxic. The wood outdoors used in playgrounds are treated with copper arsenate, just really dangerous toxins for children to be playing on. You'll see later a chart that I'll show, but for children to be exposed to these toxins, it's going to stay in them. Unless you detox, it's going to stay in them for the rest of their life. So being exposed at such a young age is, a really terrible thing. Also about the treated wood, arsenic-treated wood, it's too toxic for zoo animals, so the zoos actually do not have arsenic-treated woods for the animals in the zoo, yet playgrounds are made with this wood, so that's something, you might want to, if the playgrounds aren't going to make the right laws, you might want to, watch your kids and friends and make sure that they're not being exposed to anything like this. Water is a big thing. I hate tap water. Even the taste of it, I don't know if I'm biased because I know what's in it, but there's all these chemicals. Some ones you might recognize: chlorine, lead, mercury, tetrachloroethene, just pesticides. It's full of really bad things, and I try my best to drink the right water and buy the right water, but if you do something like go to a restaurant, most restaurants serve tap water, so it's hard to avoid, but if you become aware and you make yourself aware of that, then you can definitely avoid it. I think I do pretty good in avoiding it. So just make yourself aware of all of the harmful things that you can be exposed to in something such basic as water. Here's an article, FDA prepares a warning on tuna. I think most people are aware of the mercury and heavy metals that are in seafood, in tuna and fish. We try to, fish is good. It's good meat, protein for your body, but you want to make sure you're getting organic, naturally grown fish from the sea. Otherwise, you may be exposed to mercury at high levels. Also, you have to be careful when reading labels. Organic doesn't always guarantee chemical-free. There could be some types of pesticide residue on organic fruits and vegetables and even the meats. So you just have to really read the labels and know the laws about the labels because, something could say organic, but it can't, it might not be completely organic. So just making yourself aware is the most important thing you can do, and following up on it. So if you look at environmental exposures, one amazing fact is the blood of every newborn baby today is shown to be contaminated already by over 200 industrial chemicals, pollutants, flame retardants, and carcinogens. So in a newborn baby, they can be full of carcinogens and all these terrible things. So even if you want to have your young kids detox, I think that's a great thing to do because toxins are everywhere and you can be born with it. So detoxing is super important. There's over 10 million preventable cancer deaths within the last 30 years, so a couple million every 10 years. I think that's an outstanding amount, so it's something that I think we should all be aware of. This is just a little list of the pesticide content on foods. It's in order from highest to lowest. Strawberries are at the top of the list. And these are all foods that have a skin that you can eat. Bananas aren't listed on here. They have a hard skin. But things like strawberries, grapes, peppers, those all have a very high pesticide content. So if you are going to be buying organic food, I would say these would be the top ones to buy. Bananas, you might be able to get away with eating just ones from Giant Eagle and not the organic section. So I would highly suggest strawberries, spinach, the ones at the top of the list, to go organic with those ones. Who needs a detox? I think I covered this, but I think more importantly is how often. Like I said, in the midst of seasons, changing seasons, 4 times a year, I would say it would be an average goal. Even if you do it once a year, that's a huge step because how many of us have gone years without a detox? I know I've done it in the past, so I think it's super important even to do it once a year. If you can commit to that, that's awesome. But the more you do it, the better it is. So, and then again, you'll see a chart. That's my favorite chart to show the toxins in your body and how important it is to detox and how often. Just because if you look at some of these chemicals and toxins that you're exposed to, you could be at such a high frequency and have such a large amount in your body and you don't even know it. So it's super important to detox and get all of those toxins out. Symptoms of a toxic body. There's pretty much anything under the sun here. So you could be tired, have acne, bad body odor. The list goes on and on. How you doing? You're good. He's done a detox lately. He doesn't have body odor. But if you're trying to do something like lose weight and you find that you're having trouble, it may be because your body needs to detox first and get rid of all of those toxins because you may have some blockers that are causing you to not be able to get rid of the waste as well and the extra weight you may have because you're toxic. And the list goes pretty much through everything. So if you have any type of problem, you might be due for a detox. It's pretty much what that list is saying. So in detoxing, there's tons of ways that your body does that. Some of the detox systems are through your GI tract, your liver, your gallbladder, and your colon. But the 5 main ones are your skin. Sweating is a great thing. I know some people, it's not always in the right environment to be sweating. But that's really great. I think antiperspirants aren't the best thing because, it's good for your body to be sweating. And if you're blocking that, you're harming yourself, even though you might think that it might look good on the outside, but it's really harming yourself. Your colon and your kidneys, going to the bathroom, I think that's an obvious form of detox. Your lungs, exhaling. Does everyone take time out of their day to take a nice deep breath? If not, I think that's something you should start doing, as well as a good detoxifier. It just feels good, so that's something you might want to try. And for females, monthly menstruation, that's a good detox. So I look at people who are on, birth controls or people who stop that monthly event, and I don't know why you would want to stop that. It's just such a great way for your body to detox. So I think those 5 ways that your body works are, great detoxes in themselves, but it is important to give them the supplementation and, help your body detox itself, because sometimes it gets too full and needs a little help. So I mentioned your GI tract and your digestive tract, but your health begins with the food you eat, the stuff you put in your body. Poor digestion compromises all parts of your body because the digestion of food provides the fuel for all body processes in your organs and your systems. So the food that you eat must be digested properly. And I'm going to talk a little bit about juicing. Juicing raw vegetables is such a great thing. Eating steamed vegetables and cooked vegetables is a great thing as well, but your body doesn't get the nutrients in the same form, and it's also not absorbed as good as it is when you juice raw vegetables. Your body is able to, I think there's kind of 3 steps. The way your body absorbs cooked vegetables, raw vegetables, and juiced vegetables, and they kind of go in that order. Juicing, you get the most out of your vegetables. It absorbs about 10 times quicker. It can be digested within minutes, whereas if you're eating raw or cooked vegetables, it may take hours to digest. So juicing is also a way to, eat 10 vegetables, whereas eating 10 carrots may take a lot of time and effort. So juicing is just such a great way to get those good nutrients in your body. So digestion is really important, and if you look at your intestinal health, I think first and foremost you have to look at your diet. We have all these amazing supplements here that help, but you can't be eating pizza and all that fried food and take supplements and think you're okay. Supplements are to supplement your diet. So if you're eating, even just if you eat a lot of vegetables, but they may have, the nutrient content in our food has gone down, so you may need to take a supplement with your salad. So you're getting the full amount of nutrients that, some people who aren't educated on supplements, and the food content, they may think that, I ate a salad, I got, that's the best thing I could do, but, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, that might have done it, but today it's just not enough, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But for digestion, there's 3 keys. Absorption is when your food passes from the intestines into your bloodstream. And then there's assimilation, where nutrients enter your cells, and then elimination, which we talked about, the waste products exiting your body. We talked a little bit about liver. Healthy liver function is the key. The liver is the primary organ responsible for modifying the toxins so they can be broken down in your body. There's a 2-step process, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 neutralizes, so that takes enzymes and chemically transforms them to be less toxic. So then when they go to phase 2, conjugation, they are easier to excrete. So the 2 steps are really important because you need to lessen the form of the toxins and make them less harsh. And then you need to, that makes it in turn easier to excrete. So those 2 phases work really well together. And Live Clear 2 helps with those processes, those phases, and you'll see that in the back of the handout. Again, with the liver, enzymes are metabolized into toxins, and the chemical transformation of it becoming less toxic makes it a water-soluble substance, which is why it is easier to excrete in phase 2. So compounds come together to neutralize the toxins so that they can be easily excreted. There's a little chart there that shows in phase 1 and phase 2, removes and alters substances and prepares them for elimination. So if you want to ask yourself, how healthy is your colon? It's a major line of defense for your digestive tract. It's an effective barrier, so it's kind of, the first line of defense. If it's compromised or if you have a weakened colon, then high amounts of harmful agents and bacteria can then be absorbed into your body, which is, exactly what you don't want to do. So in the colon, you have the large intestine, where fluids are removed and absorbed into the body. And this doesn't play a major role in absorbing nutrients, but the colon is 5 or 6 feet long. It's a muscular tube here that delivers stool, which is the last part of digestion. So that's it's the main line of defense, and it's also the last step, the last part of digestion. Most people who think they are tired are actually toxic. Like I went back to that long list of symptoms. Something simple as being tired. You may be taking some supplements, some, Pro Orange is something that gives you energy and it's just not working. It may be because your body needs to detox. And if you are trying any of these supplements and you find that some don't work as well or some don't work at all, it may be because you need to detox. The example I always go to is people trying to lose weight. They just, they're eating right, they're doing the super shakes, taking the colors, on their supplements for weight loss, and it's not working. It's because their body is blocked and full of toxins, and they're not able to excrete, and get rid of that weight as easy because they are in need of a detox. So chemicals and toxins are built up in your system from things like I mentioned earlier, water, produce and meat, the fish. Also, sugars and sweeteners, it's like feeding your body toxins when you do that. And also household products. So cleaning, you can smell the chemicals in them. It's straight up chemicals. So it's important to use, like a vinegar mix when you're cleaning. And I think some people think it kind of stinks. I kind of like the smell, but I do think it smells better than, Lysol and bleach. It's just a strong smell, and especially in your kitchen where you're eating. I think it might be tolerable in the bathroom, but in the kitchen, I just can't stand the smell of bleach, and it's just way too harsh. So this next slide is my favorite picture. This is how toxins accumulate over time. So this will be your toxic load from, that's about over 25 years. So that's about my age. If I never would have done a detox, I'd be almost in up to my head full of toxins. So the longer you wait to do a detox, the harder it is to get rid of them. So that's why I said it's super important for, to start young when you're doing detoxes, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to get rid of all of the toxins. So like I said, if you're doing it once a year, that's great, but the more the merrier. So I think it's possible. Like I said, things, drinking water, unless you're always home, always drinking the best water, it's going to be really hard, but you can get pretty darn close. So, are you going to do that as a challenge? All right, let me know how that works. So some foods for detox. I think sometimes when we're trying to lose weight or stick to a certain diet, maybe for a health reason or just for personal interest, you find yourself stuck with nothing to eat. You look in the fridge and you're like, I can't have this, I can't have that, or you just don't want it. But the amount of vegetables and fruits that there are in the world are way beyond my knowledge even. There's, I feel like I'm in my 20s and I'm still learning all these new fruits and vegetables that just have slipped by me for the past 20 years. But so the more you find, I think the more you'll enjoy your food, and the bigger variety you have, the more enjoyable it is. So if you look in the detox brochure, on the inside you'll find guidelines. It goes through some meats, how to choose your meat, where to get your dairy, if you don't want to drink cow's milk, what vegetables are good, fruits, nuts, all kinds of things. So I think that's a great tool that Nutritional Frontiers and the Wine and Wellness Center has provided. So if you find yourself wanting to do a detox, we have all the tools for you, so it's very possible. Fiber is also really important. It's a great source that you want to have whenever you're detoxing. You want to ensure 20 to 30 grams a day. Depending on where you are health-wise, you may need to higher it, you may need to lower it, but that's the general amount we give. 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, and in the Pro Colors, 1 scoop has 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. So I make sure I get that every day because I may skip my apple for my afternoon snack, or might not have vegetables for dinner. So I make sure I get my 1 scoop at least every day. So one thing, if you're not used to eating fiber, you want to add that in slowly so it doesn't shock your body. But also drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. They laugh at me here at the office because I carry around a gallon, and I fill that up about every 2 days. I'm here about 8 hours a day, and I drink half of a gallon here, and I usually drink about half a gallon in the morning and at night at home. So I'm big on, drinking the right water. I carry around my gallon, so I don't ever end up drinking the wrong type of water, but they laugh at me here because they think it's funny that I carry around a gallon. So water is super important. And then reds or purples, good for this situation, but really any of the colors are good. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains. You really want to avoid, white bread and, things that I'm sure most of you are aware of, but whole grains are great. Fiber is important because it changes the nature of the GI tract and how other nutrients and chemicals are absorbed. So if you're getting enough fiber and getting the right fiber, then it will actually make your GI tract absorb nutrients better and not absorb chemicals as easily. So fiber is super important. So the Nutritional Frontiers protocol is listed in the detox solutions and in the back of your PowerPoint handout. The lean greens, the best whey protein, or the super shake. You don't have to use both. I prefer super shake just because I like the grittier texture. I don't really like the whey, but some people love that smooth texture. So, one of those, or if you do both, that's great. Live Clear or Live Clear 2. Live Clear 2 is a newer product, so I think it's a little bit better if you're in dire need of a detox, but if you do it frequently, Live Clear may work just fine for you. And also the liver gallbladder herbal tincture. I noticed that always shows up whenever people get tested and their results are they need to do a detox. The liver gallbladder tincture always shows up, so it's a really great formula. Also some solutions: reduce dairy, sugar, obviously, and processed foods. They're just full of things that aren't natural. So you want to support your healthy digestion, support with vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and with the whey and super shakes, the protein drink, it is a meal replacement. So that's a bonus if you're, on the run. I talked about this a little bit earlier. You need 10 servings of vegetables to equal just one 50 years ago. I think I said 70 or 100, only 50 years ago. Some of you in this room may be over the age of 50. So, you have to change your lifestyle from when you were little. That's back when an apple a day was enough. So, it's something you need to make yourself aware of and make sure that you are getting a fulfillment of vegetables, fruit, and whatnot to equal what it was 50 years ago. And this happens because the soil has gone down, the water has gone down, so the food quality, in turn, has gone down about 10 times since 50 years ago. So this is something the USDA has reported. I like this comparison here. Compared to 1975, which isn't that long ago, apples, including vitamin A in apples, has gone down 41%. You can read down the list. Broccoli, calcium, and vitamin A are down 50%. So one piece of broccoli, you now need 2 pieces of broccoli to get that calcium and vitamin A. So I think the more you make yourself aware of these statistics, the better the better off you'll be, and the better food you will put into your body. So, like I went over before, the Super Shake or the Best Whey Protein, Live Clear and Live Clear 2, and the lean greens, and also any of the colors would be great to do. That's all listed in the protocol. The Super Shake, it's a low-carb meal full of vitamins and minerals. Comes in 6 flavors, so if you're picky, you might find one that you do like.
It would be hard to eat so many fruits and so many vegetables. Do you have any thoughts on juicing those and just doing like a juice detox for a couple days?
Yeah. This book here, Juicing for the Health of It, it's a pretty witty name. This book actually goes through most situations that, the common situations that people deal with, diabetes, colitis, even having a cold, asthma, all of that. This has the perfect little shake, I guess you wouldn't call it a shake, juice to mix up. And they all have about like 4 to 8 vegetables or fruits that you may add. So this has a little guide in the back. If you look at depression, there's 3 things for it. So I think if you have something that you want to work on specifically, this book has the answer for you. So like I said, it is hard to eat, 50 vegetables in a day, whereas you can maybe get 10 of them in one sitting, juicing in a couple minutes to take, to drink your juice, and it absorbs quicker. You get the better form of the vitamins and nutrients. So I think juicing is the best way to go. I personally like to eat, fruits and vegetables instead of drinking them. But, I make myself do the juicing because I understand how important it is. So, you can do both. You can have the best of both worlds. Spirulina is really great. The barley grass and all of these are included in the lean greens. But 1 pound of spirulina has the power of 1,000 pounds of assorted vegetables. That's 1 pound of spirulina, so that is a lot. But, if you eat a pound in a month, I think you're getting a significant amount of, assorted vegetables. So if you look at lean greens, ingredients, spirulina and chlorella, super great ingredients. I think that's why this is such a good product. Rich in nutrients, it's a potent antioxidant. It's convenient, easy to use. Like I said, it's just a scoop a day. It's a good immune system supporter, a good cleanser. It's gluten-free and vegetarian. And the taste isn't that bad compared to most greens. I do find that I do like our greens better than ones I've tried in the past. Like I mentioned, the chlorella, the chlorophyll, barley grass, it just sweeps the toxins right out of your body. Having a complete food source also acts as a cleanser and detoxifier, so that's how these ingredients work together to detox. Like I said, spirulina, it has the chelating effect where it just goes in there and it scrapes the toxins out of your body. It comes from German or Latin word meaning claw-like ability, so it actually scrapes out the toxins, which is exactly what you need to do in a detox. Helps remove free radicals and other chemicals that can cause DNA damage. Just removes all toxins really well. And like I said, you can do a 10-day detox, so it doesn't take that long to get a good detox done. So if you look in the brochure, like I said, there's a food guide. It goes over all of the supplements that I listed, even a couple extras, NRDMG, Frontier Cleanse, Great Cleanser, the liver gallbladder tincture. So I want to go back to the juicing a little bit. This book is so great. It just really explains how, any question you have about juicing, it answers. The page I just opened to, it says start early, and it has a young girl juicing. I think that's great. It says raw carrot juice is excellent for babies. Carrots are so simple to throw into a juicer and mix up. We have juicers available here. The juicer you have is also really important. The way that it pulverizes the vegetables and turns them into juice is really important. So that book has every aspect of juicing. So do I have any questions on detox? Juicing? I think it's called a Champion juicer. The one we sell is that what it is? The Champion juicer in the back. There's a few other ones listed in the book. I'm not too familiar with those, just the one we have back here.
Why no oranges and grapefruits? Is it too acidic or?
Yeah, it's the acidic in the citrus fruits.
The ones I like the best.
I know. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah?
You mentioned phase 1 and phase 2 detox.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, can you expand on that a little bit?
Phase 1 and phase 2 is the parts of detoxifying. The first phase kind of breaks down the chemicals, and phase 2 is just them excreting in an easier way. It makes them water soluble so that they're able to be excreted through bile and urination. Anyone else? Yeah?
How does age and health issues impact doing a detox? A healthy person could probably detox without any problem, but somebody with health issues or, say, in their 70s, it wouldn't be the same for them, right? There has to be some cautions.
Well, there are cautions that vary based on based on what you're going through. But the only thing I can tell you is, how old you are and how many detoxes you've done before. You may want to consider a 30-day detox or something longer, or just more frequent detoxes, once a month, once every couple months. But it does depend on, what kind of situation you may have and what you may have been exposed to.
I was going to say, I thought maybe a short one would be better having a detox.
Yeah, it may be a good start.
To do a short one to see how
Yeah, and obviously if you're having problems and something's not going right, you may want to stop and try again. Like I said, even things adding fiber, you've been eating fiber your whole life, but the amount at which you're doing it may be a little bit of a shock. So, test it out. Your body talks. So, listen. Yeah.
You mentioned the cruciferous vegetables. Is there? I've been wondering about detoxing mercury. It seems that sulfur-containing compounds help with that. I'm wondering, is there something in the cruciferous vegetables that they contain sulfur, or what would be?
I'm not exactly sure. I just know that they help. I think it's, their chelating effect, the way they, help remove toxins. I don't know if if they're full of sulfur or what exactly. I can look into that answer for you, though, and find out after.
Where do you get something big enough to carry all your water? Because I go to work and I bring little containers, but it's not the same.
I carry around a jug, a gallon.
Yeah. Of what? What kind of jug?
Just, we get spring water or something from the store, and I fill it up with.
That plastic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or if you can find a glass one, that may be better. My little bottle is glass, so I don't love to drink out of plastic, but
that's thin plastic.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just wondering where you got that.
I'm sure you can find a glass gallon.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I wonder where.
Yeah. Yeah. Check Amazon. You can find anything there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
On the detox, was 1 scoop of the Super Shake, 1 scoop of the Pro Greens, is that like for one meal replacement, or is that multiple meals throughout the day, or?
Well, the lean greens isn't necessarily a meal replacement, unless you're using it as one, but
Okay.
the protein is used as a meal replacement. You can mix them together
Okay.
if that's something you're interested. Some people like them separate,
And then just eat food, the other meals? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Anyone else? Yeah?
Well, silica. I've heard that is good for detox, but I'm wondering if that's limited to maybe pulling out aluminum or specific metals.
Again, I'm not too sure about the specifics of that, but we can certainly find that out as well as the sulfur. Okay? Any more questions? Okay, yeah? The detox? Yeah, I'll get you one. But thank you all so much for listening and all of your questions. I appreciate you taking the time, and I hope this helps. Thanks.